It's morning time. Get all set up. Morning, ladies. So today we're going to be working on some breathing to start. So if you can get a stack of folded blankets or like maybe a couple of firm pillows, we're going to be laying on these. Or if you happen to have a bolster, you could use that. But something that's about, I would say this is 10 or 12 inches folded and 4 to 6 inches tall. So you can go see what you can find. We'll do a lot of moving too, but we're going to start with breathing. Another minute. So I can see what time it is. All right, so to start with, we'll start seated, but then we'll lay on these blankets. Just for a few minutes, we will do some breathing sitting. So welcome today. I'm so glad you're here, and hopefully this practice will just feel really good. Movement Lab yesterday sent out a little short video about the back bend part of a sun salutation. And so I thought for class today, we will work on those, on back bending today, but I want to really start with working on our breath and using the full capacity of our lungs and all of the muscles in between our ribs, right? So that we can breathe with strength and a lot of space. So we'll start with Nadi Shodhana, our alternate nostril breathing, just for a few minutes. We'll do about 3. And, you know, breathing exercises can, because our breath is so linked to our nervous system and our sense of safety, right? Sometimes it can bring up some anxiety. So if you start to feel anxious from breathing exercises, stop any kind of restriction and just start trying to bring your breath deeply down into your body, into your belly, so that you can turn on that, your parasympathetic nervous system. So helpful for us to do these exercises so that we can navigate all of it, and so we can do it with intention and consciousness, so we have control. But we have to ease ourselves into it. So if it does start to bring up some anxiety, then just stop. But we've done this before. I find it really calming, than alternate nostril breathing. So you'll start with your right hand. We'll just use our ring finger and thumb to alternately close nostrils. So go ahead and sit up tall. And we'll start with the left. So you'll take your thumb to close your right nostril and inhale through your left. Find a little pause at the top of your inhale and then switch. Close your left nostril with your thumb, with your ring finger, and then exhale through the right. Pause at the bottom. Inhale right. Pause. Switch. Exhale left. If you need to run and get something to blow your nose before you sit, feel free to hurry and do that. We'll be here for a few minutes. You'll just switch after your inhale. So you'll inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. And exhale left. Just keep following that pattern. Now you're inhaling. Then with an exhale on the left side. And just release your hands. And just feel the quality of your breathing there. And make sure everyone's muted. Sit for another minute. When the breath is unsteady, all is unsteady. When the breath is still, all is still. Control the breath carefully. Inhalation gives strength and a controlled body. Retention gives steadiness of mind and longevity. Exhalation purifies body and spirit. And just let yourself feel the quality of the energy in your body just from simply opening your airways with that alternate nostril breathing. And then you can open your eyes if they're closed. We're going to lay on our bellies with the bolster. So we're going to practice kind of breaking apart all the parts of our breath. And first we're going to lay with your blanket on with some pressure on your belly so that you have some load to push against. Okay, so we'll lay on our bellies with your stack of folded blankets or a firm pillow or something. And it may take a little bit of adjusting and figuring out. But you're just gonna lay down and let this be on the, like below your ribs, okay? And then find a place if you need to stack fists. So try not to bring too much tension into your upper chest. You know, and it may feel, you know, you'll feel some pressure on your belly, and that's fine. might take a minute or two to get used to it. I just want you to have some sensory feedback about your breath. And breathe here into your belly. Just do this for a couple of minutes, but let your head relax. And as you inhale, really push your belly into the blanket underneath your belly. And then just let it all come back in as you exhale. And so let it take some effort in thinking about strengthening that diaphragmatic breath and using the strength of that diaphragm. So you're exercising that muscle inside. Relax through your face and your shoulders. So you can just let your breath come in and out of your nose. Really push the blanket away with your breath when you breathe in. And just one more breath here. And we're going to switch positions and focus more on the breathing into our rib cage. So I'm going to move my stack of blankets up a little bit higher, and it's going to be underneath my rib cage. I'm going to lay with my knees to one side, okay, and then lay my rib cage over the stack of blankets, but I'm going to twist. I'm going to find a little bit of a twist here. So, I don't have a whole lot of breast tissue, but you'll have to kind of just figure out what works for you, okay, here, as you lay down. But I'm going to try to bring forehead toward the floor on my stacked hands. So my knees are over to one side, but my rib cage is what's on the stack of blankets underneath me. And now, because we've got a little bit of a twist in our belly, it kind of helps restrict that diaphragmatic breathing. I want you to think more about breathing into your rib cage and really energetically with all your might, expanding those ribs into the blanket underneath you. And so breathe in and out of your nose. Really pushing into that blanket. So think about those muscles in between your ribs. And really think about using them. And you can expand your ribs down into the blanket and expand your ribs out towards your other armpit. See if you can relax through your throat. Relax your face. And just feel that load of the pressure of your body on your blankets and really push your ribs down. Last breath here. And then we'll go ahead and stay on your side, but we're just gonna find a more side laying position. So you can lengthen out your bottom arm, take your top arm and just kind of grab onto that wrist. Just rest your head on your arm. So now you're in a side bend. We'll just do this one for 1 minute. But really think, again, not belly breath, but rib cage expanding into the blankets underneath you. And using those muscles, those intercostal muscles between your ribs. Just breathe in and out of your nose. We'll go ahead and switch sides. So you can just roll over. I'm going to move so I'm still facing you. So just shift blankets over to the other side, and we'll find that twist with your other rib cage on the blanket. So have your knees to one side, and then bring your rib cage down onto the blanket, and then try to rest your forehead on your stacked hands. So you've got a little bit of a twist through your belly. And just lay forehead on your hands. And with as much strength as you can, as you breathe in, push your ribs into the blankets underneath you. Bolster the pillow or whatever you've got. Notice if it feels different on this side than the first side. So relax through your jaw, your throat. Really think of that place where your ribcage meets the blanket underneath you, and as you breathe in, really push into it. We'll move to our side bend. So just stay on your side, but then lengthen your bottom arm. You can rest your head on it, and then take your top arm just overhead. Maybe grab onto that wrist. And think about expanding your ribs into the blanket up underneath you and up toward the ceiling on your side. Really push your ribs down. Just one more breath here. And then you have an option. You can either just move your blankets out of the way and come and lay on your back, or you can sit for this last minute of really paying attention to our breathing. I'm going to lay on my back and just bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your upper chest, your heart. And now we're going to just breathe in 3 parts. So breathe into your belly, breathe out 360 degrees around your whole rib cage, and then all the way up into your collarbones. And then as you exhale, let all of it drop back in toward the center and exhale completely. Inhale completely, belly, rib cage, collarbones. And exhale completely. And just 3 more full conscious breaths there. I have my feet wide and my knees knocking together. And just one last breath. Inhale into your belly, your rib cage, all the way up into your collarbones. And exhale completely. And then just let your breath kind of return to its natural, normal pace. Just kind of feel the freedom that you have in your breathing after that conscious, energetic effort. And then roll one side, grab one of your blankets. You have one. If you don't, you can do this without a blanket. But I'm going to roll it so it's more of a roll and put this under my shoulder blades. Now we've opened our ribs, really brought some awareness into our breathing. So now we're going to move and just kind of work on backbends from all different angles. So here I am laying on my rolled blanket. It's right under my shoulder blades, or right below them, kind of like bra strap line. And you can have knees bent or legs long, whatever feels best. My arms are in a cactus shape. We're just going to move our arms with our breath here. So as I inhale, I'm just going to reach right arm long. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to let it rebound. So let go of any tension and just let it come back to where it started. Inhale, left arm reach. And then as I exhale, I'm just going to let it rebound to where I started. And just back and forth. Connect it with your breath. And you can think about here, breathing into those back ribs that are on the blanket underneath you. We're just kind of connecting our breath with our movement, opening through our heart and our shoulders. Let's just do one more on each side. Reach right arm up. Let it rebound. Reach left arm up. And let it rebound. Bend your knees. And just roll yourself to one side and come up to hands and knees. Just find a few rounds of cat and cow, and you can push your blankets and bolster out to the side. But just kind of feel in your body. You don't need to go at my pace, but feel your whole rib cage. Feel your breath. Just notice what it's like to be in your body here. Connect your movement with your breath and just feel the freedom that you have to breathe on purpose and breathe in a way that really nurtures and nourishes your whole body. Start to really grate the whole length of your spine, paying attention to your sacrum, your lower back, your middle back, upper back, neck, all of it. As you're ready, we're just going to move into a downward facing dog from here. And just see if you can find that breathing in all directions. So 360 degrees around your rib cage. And an expansion through your diaphragm. And here, even letting your pelvic floor kind of relax with your inhale. And draw up and in with your exhale. And take one more breath here. And then bring your knees down to the floor and we'll find puppy pose. So keep your hips stacked over your knees, just walk your arms forward, drop your heart toward the floor. Maybe your forehead comes to the floor, maybe you just stay up. Maybe chin comes to the floor. So this is big shoulder stretch, heart opener. And then push your hips all the way to your heels for child's pose. Elbows on the floor, bend through your elbows and bring your prayer hands back behind your neck. So you just have a tricep stretch happening here. And then release your arms. Rock forward a little bit, tuck your toes and come back to kneeling on your touched toes. And just find some neck rolls here. You can tuck your chin, roll one ear to the side. And then the other. Just do what feels good in your neck here. Stretching through your bottom of the feet in a really friendly way. And just take one more in each direction with your neck. And then we'll come up to a standing kneel. You can shake out your feet if you need to. Untuck your toes, keep them tucked. We're just going to do a little bit of dynamic camel here. So we're not going to lean back all the way, but I just want you to think about that. Engagement through your back body, freedom through your breath, and support in your core. So just reach your arms up high, okay? And now feel like you're sending your tailbone the same direction as your knees, zipping up on your lower belly and letting your lower ribs kind of drop in as you reach your arms, your thumbs back. Okay. Chin parallel with the floor. And then with an exhale, bring your elbows wide and towards your rib cage. Draw your shoulder blades in and lift your heart. Engage through your back body, but still find that same grounding of your tailbone, support through your lower belly, and some containment through those low ribs as you reach your heart up. You're really engaging your shoulder blades toward each other. And then just reach your arms up high. And we'll just do that a few times, okay? So it's just like you're pulling something down, drawing your shoulder blades together, reach up. Maybe you can lean back a little. And then come up. So we're lifting up through the heart as you bring your arms down, engage through your back body. So you're not crunching into your lower back, you're lifting up out of it. So do that 1 or 2 more times, just at your own pace. And then reach high. Bring your hands to the floor. Tuck your toes. We'll come to a standing forward fold at the back of your mat. Just bring your heels to the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Inhale, come up halfway and just find your cactus arms. Find that engagement through your back body. And then exhale. With the knees as soft as you need, draw your lower belly in and fold. And move with your breath here. One more inhale. Arms in a cactus, flat back, shoulder blades draw together. Exhale to fold. And then you can soften your knees, roll yourself up to standing. And then find your mountain pose here. Really check in with yourself. Ground through your feet. Then just lift your right knee up. You can pause there. Maybe wrap your hands around your shin and come up a little bit higher. And then see if you can keep it, engage through that hip flexor and let go of your hands. And then grab a hold of your shin or your knee with your right hand and just open that right leg out to the right. And again, see if you can engage that hip flexor. Maybe float your hand off your knee there. And then come back to center and we'll find a twist. So left hand on that right knee, reach your right arm back. Try to keep your hips level with each other. So notice if you're hiking that right one up. And then maybe float your hand off here. And you can come back. Soften into that standing leg and just cross your right ankle over. Just find a figure 4. Stretch here, flex through that right foot. And then come on up to standing. Ground down through your right foot, float your left knee up. And just flex through that foot. Pause. And then maybe hug that knee up a little closer in. And then engage through that belly, hip flexor. Maybe float your hands off. See if you can hold it up. And then grab your knee with your left hand and just bring that leg out to the left. Okay. So find all those actions of a straight spine and keep contained through those lower ribs. Maybe float your hand off. And then come back to center. We'll switch our grip. Right hand. And reach your left arm back. And maybe float. And then unwind yourself. Soften into that right knee. Sit back. Into your figure 4. Stand all the way up. Both legs down. Inhale to reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees enough that you can touch the ground with your hands. And we'll just walk ourselves back into a downward facing dog. Bring your hands to the floor. Separate your feet about hip distance apart. And then come into hands and knees. So knees on the floor. Do a little bit of practice chaturanga. So find that external rotation of your upper arms. So you're turning those elbow creases forward. Shorten or just kind of find that containment of your belly. Lower ribs in. And then rock yourself forward. And then lower part way. So your shoulders won't come any lower than your elbows. Maybe they'll stay a little bit above. You can stay here and hold, or you can tuck your toes and just lift your knees. And then bring your knees back down. Come back to your hands and knees. And then rock yourself forward. Lower 1 inch, maybe a little more. And stay here or float your knees up. Bring your knees down. Back. Let's do that one more time. And this time we'll lower. So you can keep your knees down or lift your knees up. Broaden through your collarbones, contain your belly. Maybe float your knees. And then we'll lower belly to the floor. Draw your shoulder blades together. And then we're gonna take our hands wide and come onto your fingertips. So it's like we were up in our camel, maybe even you can float your hands up. Bring your elbows towards your rib cage. As you're lifting your head and chest, push into your feet and then bring your fingertips to the floor. And then you can lift a little higher and lower. And let's do that 2 more times. Just draw your shoulders back, engage your shoulder blades toward each other, elbows in, and then lift. And lower. One more time. Lift. And lower. Hands underneath your shoulders. Push yourself up through a table. Make your way to child's pose or downward facing dog. And then wherever you are, find that breath. That freedom through your whole rib cage. That openness of your energy. Wherever you are, make your way to downward facing dog. We'll inhale onto tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and make your way to the top of your mat. Find your parallel feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to standing reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, left knee down. Inhale, reach high. And then exhale, find those elbows in towards your rib cage. Draw your shoulder blades together, find your little baby back bend. Inhale and reach high. Grab a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and exhale. Side bend over to your right. Inhale and reach high. And then exhale, hands down. Plant through that left hand. Inhale, right arm up into a twist. You can angle those right toes out to the right a little bit. You can stay here. You could bend through your back knee. Maybe reach back for that back foot. And then release. Start in your hands and knees. Rock forward and lower part way. You can tuck your toes, maybe float your knees up. And then we're gonna lower all the way to our bellies. Let your hands float up off the floor. And then lift your head and chest, lift both legs. And then just pause here. Engage your whole back body. And then release hands to the floor. Tuck your toes. You can push yourself straight up through plank or hands and knees. And make your way to downward facing dog. One more breath here. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your lunge. Exhale, right knee down. Inhale to reach high. And then elbows wide, draw them toward that rib cage. Lift up on your lower belly. Then find your little back bend. Inhale, reach high. Right arm up, grab that right wrist with your left hand side, bend over to your left. Inhale through center. Exhale, hands down. Hand through that right hand. Inhale, left arm up. And stay here. You could bend your right knee. You could reach back with your left hand for that right foot. And then release. Start on your hands and knees. Rock your heart forward and then draw those elbows in. Spread through your collarbones. Engage through your lower belly. And pause here. Or lift your knees. And then bring your belly to the floor. Shoulders stay above your elbows. Draw your elbows in. And then feel like you're pulling your hands back to lift yourself into a cobra. And then lower. You can push yourself straight up through plank or hands and knees. Downward facing dog. And take a pause there. And then bring your knees to the floor. Come to standing kneel. Just step our right foot forward into a lunge, but a pretty squared off lunge, not a leany lunge. I'm gonna tuck my back toes. Okay. And then just reach your right arm up. And then reach your left arm up. Okay, now I want you to engage through this left glute and feel like you're squeezing like your feet toward each other. And then from here, find that little back bend. Draw your shoulder blades together, elbows in toward your rib cage. And you can lean back. And come back up. You can do that same thing again. Or this time, you can swim your left hand back toward that left heel. Try to rotate those left ribs up toward the ceiling. And find a half camel here. And then use that right arm to come up. You can do that elbows in again. Or this time, reach back with your right hand to that left heel. Engage through your left glute. Lift up through your low belly. Draw your shoulder blades together. And then come on up. Hands to the floor. Tuck your toes. Rock your heart forward. Draw your elbows in. Lower part way. Maybe hover your knees so you're in your chaturanga. Lower down. And then untuck your toes. Feel like you're dragging your hands back to reach your heart forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale through table or plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then knees to the floor. Come to your standing kneel. And this time left foot forward. I'm going to tuck my right toes. And then reach your arms high. And then you're going to zip up through your lower belly. And then find this engagement. Your back bend is coming from the strength of your back body, not the leaning, okay? Draw your elbows in, shoulder blades together, reach up through your heart. And feel like your shoulder blades are like little hands that are pushing your heart up toward the ceiling. And then come back up. Reach your arms high. You can do that same thing again. Just elbows into your rib cage and really think of that strength to lift your heart. Or feel like you're squeezing your legs toward each other and you can reach right arm back for that right heel. Engage through that right glute and rotate those right ribs up toward the ceiling. And then lead with that left hand. Come on up. Reach both arms high. Okay, this time you can have elbows in towards your ribcage to find your back bend there. Or you can reach back with your left hand on that right heel. And find your twisted half camel here. So you still have that engagement of feeling like you're pulling your feet toward each other, drawing your shoulder blades back. And then use your right arm. Come on up. Hands down. And tuck your toes. And then lean forward. Lower halfway into your chaturanga. So this happens from the strength of your back body and the containment of your core. Maybe float your knees up. Lower your belly down. Draw your shoulder blades in. Reach your heart forward. And this time maybe lift your legs to an upward facing dog. Shoulder blades on your back. And then from here you can lower down, push up through child's pose, through hands and knees or table or plank, or come straight back to downward facing dog. And just enjoy your breath there. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Soften into your knees, roll yourself up to standing. And we'll find that balance series again. And you have some options here. So find your parallel feet and ground down through your right foot. And just lift your left knee up. And stay there. You grab onto your knee and lift it a little higher. If it feels like a fun idea to try, you could reach for your big toe or your outer foot with your left hand. Okay, so wherever you are, maybe balancing right here, maybe reaching for that foot. You may work that leg towards straight, and it doesn't have to come straight. Right, you can just work it towards straight and then push into that standing leg. If you need to find a wall or a chair, maybe it'll come all the way straight. You can have this with your knee bent, with your hand on your knee. Engage through that standing outer hip, and then you can draw your leg out toward the side. Knee bent, knee straight. And then we'll come back to center. Your knee can be bent. We're going to switch hands and find your twist. And then come back to center. Bend through your knee. And we're going to find a quad stretch here. So point that left knee straight down at the floor. And you can stay here. We've been working our back bend. So you can draw your shoulder blades together. Kick your foot into your hand. Maybe come into your dancer. Let me see what I'm doing. Let's turn. So my knee is staying pointed at the floor. I'm not opening out to the side. Engagement through your back body. And then as you're ready, just come on out. And shake it out. Okay, let's try that on the other side. Root down through your left foot. And just bring your right knee up. And pause. You can stay here, just holding onto your knee. Do exactly what we did earlier. You could reach for your outer foot, or bring your peace fingers around your big toe. And then find your balance. Really engage that outer hip in, push down into the floor, lengthen up through the roof of your mouth. And from there, maybe bring your leg partway straight. Maybe push it a little straighter. And you can come in and out of things. You don't have to be totally still. Right, balance is an action word. It's not static. And then if you're ready, you can bring your knee or your leg out to the side. And then we're gonna come back forward and find our twist. You can do this with your knee bent. You wanna bring your hand outside of your foot, open. Aligned. Find your quad stretch. So you'll bend that right knee, reach back with your right hand, and both knees, your right knee is pointing at the floor. You can stay there or engage through your back body. Draw your shoulder blades together. Kick your foot into your hand. And come into your dancer. Turn. So energetically, really kicking your foot into your hand, hand into your foot, drawing your shoulder blades toward each other. And then go ahead and come out, shake that out. Okay. And then let go of any judgment of anything that happened during that. If you're falling all over the place, it's totally fine. Inhale, reach high to the top of your mat. Exhale, fold. Soften your knees as much as you need to. And just let yourself pause here. You can hold on to opposite elbows. Biceps by your ears, maybe sway from side to side. And collect your breath. Let your belly and your thighs meet. Relax through your face and your head. And release your arms. We'll come all the way down onto our backs. And just make your way onto your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And then find some robot arms. So triceps to the floor and fingertips toward the ceiling. And then draw your shoulder blades toward each other. Push your lower back into the floor. Just lift your tailbone and your sacrum. Push your triceps into the floor. Push the back of your head into the floor. Draw your shoulder blades together and then lift just your lower vertebrae. Engage through your back body. Draw your shoulder blades together. And then lift just your middle vertebrae. So most of your rib cage is still on the floor. And then one by one, see if you can lift your ribs up off the floor. Really push your triceps into the floor. Draw your shoulder blades together. Open through your heart, but let your lowest front ribs stay soft in toward the body. So you're not hinging there at that juncture between your low back and your thoracic spine, but you're just having a gradual curve through your whole spine. Feel like you're dragging your heels back. Push your triceps down. Draw your shoulder blades together. Open through your throat. Maybe lift your pubic bone a little higher. And then release. Just pause. And then you can set yourself up for one more round of a back bend. And let this be whatever you want it to be. So I bet Amy will come up into a wheel. You're ready for that. So do that if you want. And wiggle your shoulder blades together, just lift your hips. You could interlace fingers underneath you. You could find support underneath your sacrum if you'd like. But just find 5 or so breaths and a really expansive, heart-opening back bend that you enjoy. And think of that full 3-part breath. through the whole capacity of your lungs. Letting your diaphragm work and all the muscles between your ribs. And then as you're ready, make your way back down. Unwind. Let your shoulder blades spread on the floor. And some little rocks through your pelvis. Just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Hug your knees into your chest and let your knees be pretty wide, like as wide as your armpits. And you can rock here. And then you can roll to one side or just rock your way up. We'll come into a seated forward fold. Just to kind of counter and balance out all of that back bending that we've done. So your first stop is Dandasana staff pose. Have your knees bent as much as you need to. Your priority is to have a neutral pelvis here. So see if you can find your tailbone. If your tailbone's tucked underneath you, then sit on your folded blanket so that your tailbone's out from underneath you. And then from there, just reach high. Drop those lowest ribs in, open through your heart. And then lead with your heart to fold and come forward with a strong back. And then you can let your arms just fall where they fall. And let your back round into just a natural curve. So you can let yourself round here once you've got your pelvis set up neutral. And even though you've got some compression in your belly, you can think about breathing belly, rib cage, collarbones. And you can grab onto your legs or your feet. The tailbone is out from underneath you. You don't have any hinge points in your spine. The hinging is happening at your hips. And so if this is where you are, this is where you are, you can just feel this in the backs of your legs. And just a gentle rounding of your spine. And take one more breath there. And on your next inhale, just let yourself come all the way up. If you've still got your blankets, bring them underneath your knees. About one or two. And then, so they're kind of like knees, thighs. And then just use your arms to bring yourself all the way down onto your back. Let your feet be pretty wide, and you can let your feet kind of flop out to the sides. And then just get any wiggles that you need to, like arrange the flesh of your bum in a way that's supportive for your lower back. And let this support under your knees feel really good on your lower back. And then bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And feel and pay attention to every part of your breath. So notice the inhale. Notice the pause between the inhale and the exhale. Notice your exhale. Notice that pause and transition between the exhale and the inhale. You can keep your hands on your body if that feels really supportive and nurturing to you. Or you can go ahead and let your arms go out to the sides, maybe 45 degrees from your body, palms face up. And just completely let go of effort. Let your breath breathe itself. It's this miraculous bridge between what you can control and what your body will just do for you. What's beyond your awareness. And just notice how it's always there, whether you pay attention to it or not. The kitty. It's okay. And just let yourself feel the energy in your body, that the tension of moving and breathing brings. And then start to notice how supported you are when you let go of control. You have to find that balance between effort and ease, between doing and being. And this is your time to just be. Please feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come out, just start to find some wiggles in fingers and toes. Rock your head from side to side, maybe stretch arms overhead and get really long. And then just gently roll to one side and make your way to a comfortable seat. And when you get there, close your eyes and just bring your hands together in front of your heart. And just let yourself find a sense of a smile behind your eyes. Hold that smile in your mouth. Open that sense of a smile through your throat. And feel that smile in your heart space. And breathe that expansive sense of a smile into your solar plexus, on top of your belly. And breathe that sense of a smile into your lower belly and your pelvic floor. Just find that inner brightness and sense of gratitude and expansiveness. And you created that. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste. And breathe big all day.